Hello, environmental science scholars. Welcome to our little mini lesson on levels of organization of life in ecology. And so I want to clarify, why did I specify ecology kind of versus other fields of science? Let's say biology. Well, in biology, we're typically studying things more on the smaller scale, more typically on the microscopic level, and level is kind of hard to see. While in the field of ecology, we're studying things on, life essentially, but on a larger scale in all aspects of life. Um, so before we even start talking about what are the different levels of organization, let's first just define or talk about what is ecology. So it is a field of science. Eco is referring to your environment, habitat, or surroundings. And then the suffix ology is the study of. So ecology is the study of how organisms interact with each other and then also their environments as well. So we're not just studying living things, we're also studying non-living things in the field of ecology. And so ecologists study various levels of life, and that's what we refer to the ecological levels of organization of life. And so again, this is more on the larger scale of life. So we use a different categorization system than, let's say, that field of biology I mentioned before. So let's use an example. So we're all going to study life today in Costa Rica. We're going to take a little mental mini vacation there. I wish. So just to orient yourself, where is Costa Rica? So it's located down here in Central America. So in between, of course, North and South America. And if you kind of look at a very characteristic landscape, if you kind of put into one word, what is like the most dominant, form of life that you're seeing? Trees. This is a very, they have a lot of, tropical rainforest there. It's a very characteristic, location of tropical rainforest. A very characteristic example of that type of biome and all different kinds of life that lives, in and among those trees. So let's say we were interested in studying life at different levels of, at different levels in Costa Rica. And let's say we were going to start off with, let's say, studying this single golden toad. So this golden toad lives in a very specific rainforest in Costa Rica. If we're just studying this one little guy that we saw when we're hiking around, sorry, that's a train. We're studying him or her at the individual level. At the individual level. That represents just one single organism of a particular species, which is the golden toad, that little guy or gal right there. Let's say I was interested, I'm not going to get much information about this one golden toad if I want to know more about it, especially if, let's say, it was like a weird little wonky example. That's not going to tell me much. So let's say I wanted to study multiple golden toads living in this one rainforest in Costa Rica. Therefore, I'm studying them at the population level. So population is defined as members of the same species living in the same area. So this little population of golden toads living in that rainforest in Costa Rica. All right, awesome. We got to know a little bit more about them as a species. Maybe, we studied them at a biological level. Let's say we want to know a little bit more information. Let's say how they interact with other living species within the surrounding area. Well, then that means we're studying them at the community level or just looking at a community. So a community is defined as populations of different species living in the same area. Here we're only focused on looking at how do these living species interact with each other in the same area. Is there any competition? Is there any predation going on? How are they using the resources? So on and so on. All right, if you want to look things at, a more broader level then, and you want to look at how are these living guys then interacting with the non-living parts of their environment, maybe water, nutrients in the soil or something. That means we're looking at the ecosystem. So looking at all the living things in that rainforest, but then even like the non-living things as well. Looking at maybe like levels of water, temperature of water, um, dissolved oxygen levels of water, which might be important for things living in there. Looking at how much light is entering into this rainforest that might interact or influence, I'm sorry, primary producers that might depend on that light, or maybe organisms that don't like to, live in that more bright light. So it's looking at things at the ecosystem level. And you want to look a little more broader than that, then we're kind of looking at things at a what's called a biome level. And a biome can be consisting of a collection of different types of ecosystems. So a biome is an area of the planet that can be classified according to the types of plants and animals that live in it. And the types of plants and animals that can actually live in that area on Earth will then depend on these factors here, such as temperature, the amount or type of soil, amount of light or water that's in there. And so that's going to be determining, again, the type of life that can exist. So here's a map here looking at all the different major biomes of the world. We're going to come back to this concept later. All the different colors represent the different types of biomes. So again, we're in Central America here. So that's the bright green. That is the tropical rainforest, the type of biome. But there's other nearby surrounding biomes, like just north of that, where we get to like Mexico and parts of Texas. Then we kind of get this orange color, which is a desert environment, which makes sense. You get a little more south of that, then you get more mountainousy, forest kind of regions here with tropical rainforest. And you can see there's other biomes as well, which we'll come back to later. Then the last major level of organization, the broadest level of all, is looking at every parts of Earth, all the way down, from the deepest, darkest depths of the ocean, all the way to the toppest layer of our atmosphere. All parts of Earth that host life with all of its organisms and its environments within it. So looking at everything here is studying things at the biosphere level. Looking at all biomes collectively and, even up into the toppest parts of the atmosphere because there's life up there as well. All right, so that completes our lesson on looking at levels of organization. And so now you're going to be working on some practice questions afterwards. Remember, you can pause and go back to fill in your notes and answer those questions. See you later, guys. Bye.